Oh, oh, oh. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. So we are on verse 16 we read, 17 we were supposed to read when we stopped in the last class on chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Yeah. The Vishada, as we discussed in the very first introduction to the Gita, Vishada doesn't mean sadness. Here, Vishada is the entire samsara, is being referred to as the Vishada. So, Vishada Yoga is samsara yoga. How a jiva gets attached to the samsara and what happens to such a person who gets carried away by such a attachment with the samsara. So, that Vishadam is directly equated to samsara when we see this. Yeah. So in the last class, we did from almost verse 10 to verse 16. Yeah, that's what we have covered. Verse 10, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. He said this particular thing actually kind of tells you the type of mentality with which Duryodhana is going into the war. So after naming many people on the Pandava side and then his own side, including that of Dronacharya, he suddenly comes out with this particular sentence, which is Aparyaptam Tadasmakam. He says that our army, which is being secured by Bhishmacharya himself, who is a warrior par excellence. And he says that is aparyaptam, is not good enough. For what? For defeating the Pandavas. And he says paryaptam tvidime tesham balam bhima bhirakshita. Although Bhima, who is a lower level of warrior compared to Bhishma, he is securing the army of Pandavas, but he feels that is paryaptam. It is good enough. But he recognizes one factor which will make a difference between the win and loss as far as this war is concerned, and that is Bhishma Pitamaha. So in verse 11, he said, Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yada bhagam avastitaha. You must protect Bhishmacharya. Bhishma meva bhirakshantu bhavanta sarva evahi. At every cost, all entry points around Bhishma should be protected, and every one of you, must make sure that Bhishmacharya is not in no way gets inconvenienced, or worse, he will lose the war with any one of the other side warrior. So he says this particular thing when Bhishmacharya heard all this. Obviously, he's talking to Dronacharya. With the 11th verse, the dialogue between Duryodhana and Dronacharya ends. Then Pitamaha Kuruvruddha. Bhishmacharya is being referred to as the eldest among all the Kurus, and he is the great grandsire. He is the Pitamaha. And listening to Duryodhana, he recognized the fact that he is going into a depression. So in order to bring him out of that depression, it is said that Sanjanayan Harsham. He suddenly started Simhanadham. He made a big sound, and then Shankam Dadmo Pratapa. He declared the war to start by blowing a conch of his own that he has got. And the moment Bhishmacharya did that particular thing, every one of the Kauravas, all of them, they started blowing conches, Shankascha, Bherascha, Panavanaka Gomukaha, various instruments and various drums. They started making huge sound, so much so that the entire sky started reverberating with the sound, but it is more like a cacophony. There is no particular order in which it is being done. That is how Vyasacharya described the war that has started from Kaurava's side, which is the with Bhishma Pitamaha blowing his conch. Now, we have seen that Pandavas now will start replying back to the Kauravas. How they did that? Again, the description is being starting with Shvetair Hai Hairukte Mahatisyandane Sthitau. So the description is starting with the horses, which are white in color. Shveta is white in color. And Madhavaha Pandavas Chaiva Divyau Shankau Pradadmathu. So they now started giving reply by blowing of the conch, which is Divyau Shankau, a divine kind of a conches that they started off. So it's only introduction to the sound that will come from Pandava's side now. And a beautiful word is used for Krishna here, Madhava. What we said, Madhava, Ma is, let us say, Lakshmi Devi can be referred to as Ma, and Madhava, he is the husband of that Shakti, that particular Shakti, and that Lakshmi need not necessarily mean, we saw, is need not necessarily only mean money. The Lakshmi is the Shakti, the power of knowledge, because Krishna here will give the knowledge. As we following verses, he will give the knowledge to Arjuna. So he is being referred to as Madhava. And Pandava here, Arjuna is being referred to as Pandava. We have seen that, yeah. And what is the conch that Krishna has done? Panchajanyam Hrishikesha. 15th verse, we have seen Panchajanyam Hrishikesha Devadattam Dhananjaya. So now Vyasacharya he started naming even the name of the conch that these people have. So Hrishikesha, another beautiful name for Krishna. Hrishika means sense organs, including the mind, and Ishaha is the Lord. So the Madhava, who is the giver of the knowledge, is being told as he is the Hrishikesham. He is one with the total control over the sense organs, including his mind. And such a Hrishikesham, he started blowing the conch, which is called Panchajanyam. Yeah. And we have seen in the last class, again, I don't want to repeat, all these names have got certain Puranic stories attached to them. Panchajanyam, for example, is a Rakshasa that Krishna killed, and that Rakshasa turned himself into the conch at the service of the Lord, so to say. Yeah. And Devadattam Dhananjaya. Now, Arjuna has also got a beautiful name here. He is being referred to as Dhananjaya. Um, for the Pandavas, when they got those 5 villages, etc., they being asked for that. And before that also, the Duryodhana gave some wastelands for them to rule. uh, uh, it is Arjuna who is the main warrior on behalf of the Pandavas. Of course, Bhima is there along with him, but it is Arjuna who has obtained a lot of wealth uh, the, for the elder brothers and whole of Pandavas. He is the Dhananjaya. The whole idea in referring to these two names, Madhava, Hrishikesha, Dhananjaya, Pandava, etc., is to say that that having money or having the power does not necessarily mean that you are a happy person, or you have reached a stage where your mind is very clear. So just because a Dhananjaya is there, person who has amassed the wealth, doesn't mean he has control over his mind like Krishna. So Rishikeshaha, immediately Dhananjaya, it is being told. So it is Krishna with total control over his senses and mind, and here is Dhananjaya who will lose his mind very, very shortly now. So having wealth, having bank balance is no real this one in terms of getting the total control over the mind. And control, when you lose the control over mind, delusion comes in, you get carried away by the emotions, and no longer happiness is yours. Praudham Dadmau Mahashankham Bhima Karma Vrukodara. So third one who started making the sound was Vrukodara. Again, one beautiful name for Bhima. Vruka Udara. Vruk means wolf, and one who is having a stomach like a wolf, which never comes out. Yeah, that particular, whatever, how much ever the wolf eats, the stomach is under control. And Bhima is supposed to be like that. He consumes a lot of food, but he is still a six-pack person. So that is why he is being called as Vrukodara. And what he did, Praudau Dadmau Mahashankham. Because he is a huge person, his Shankha also is very big and very huge. Yeah. And uh, so he started sounding Praudham Dadmau Mahashankha. And we have seen in verse 16 the Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is the eldest of the Pandavas. Yeah. So Yudhishthira, son of Kunti, he started Kunti Putro Yudhishthira is being told Ananta Vijayam Raja. So what is his conch? His conch is named as Ananta Vijayam. We have seen that Yudhishthira, Sthira and Yudhi. Yudhi means in the war, Sthiraha. That is what Yudhishthira is about. So Yudhishthira means one who never runs away from the war. Again, very specifically it is being told because Arjuna will fall into this trap and he says, I don't want the war and I want to run away from this particular war. So here you have his elder brother who is Yudhishthira. And what is his conscious name? Ananta Vijayam. Ananta Vijayam, always victorious in the war. That particular thing is Ananta Vijayam. And then Nakula and Sahadeva, they have their conscious named as Sughosha and Manipushpakam. Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha, Nakula Sahadevascha, Sughosha Manipushpakam. So that is what is the 16th verse which we have read already. Yeah. We will read verse 17 and verse 18 together because they are all in the same this one. All other warriors on the Pandava side, they will start the making these sounds, and how that thing has done, we will see very quickly. Yeah. Kasyascha parameshvasah, काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकीश्चापराजितः सात्यकीश्चापराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दद्मुः पृथक् पृथक् शङ्खान् दद्मुः पृथक् पृथक्. So here again the other warriors on the Pandavas side. If you see here closely in these two verses, most of the names that Duryodhana mentioned to the uh, uh, we mentioned in the initial verses, yeah, to his guru, all those names you will find again coming up. So the Kaurava side is taking these are the major warriors on the other side, it appears to be, yeah. Kashyascha, we have seen Kashi Raja being mentioned before, Parameshwasaha, and Shikhandicha Maharadha. This Shikhandi name was not taken before, but I mentioned that Shikhandi is one person who has taken birth only to be a reason for the death of Bhishmacharya. So Shikhandi is somebody who is neither a woman nor a man. Uh, don't take this as a, real man and woman and other stuff. Gurudev always used to say that there are many women hidden behind the men, and similarly many men hidden behind the veil of a woman. One who gets carried away by the emotions is the Stri, and Purusha is somebody who stands firm despite all the emotions, etc. It's a nature of a person that is being referred to. Always Gurudev used to say that. Yeah. So here Shikhandi is somebody who is neither here nor there. Neither he is a very stubborn, sincere person, nor he is somebody who gets carried away. When such a person comes in front of Bhishmacharya, Bhishmacharya doesn't know how to read such a person. So he has taken a vow that he will never fight with such a person. Either it should be a Purusha or maybe a Stri, but he has never fought with a Stri. But he could have possibly, but definitely not who is confused state of mind, he will not fight. Anyway, Shikhandi is one person who is actually kind of a person whom uh, is not mentioned before, but I have told you, Shikhandi is also one of the persons killed by Ashwadhama on the 18th day. After the war was over, almost in all senses, it was over because Duryodhana got killed, and there is nobody, really speaking, leading the Kauravas army. But Ashwadhama came in the night that too, against all the rules of the war, and he killed many people. And one of them is this Shikhandi. So, despite fact that he actually survived the war, but in a way he did not survive the war. And he is Maharadha. He is being told just because he is such a person doesn't mean that he is not trained. He is a Maharadhi. He himself can actually kind of face more than 10,000 warriors. That's why he is called as Maharadha. He is being referred to as Shikhandicha Maharadha. And Drushtadumyo Viratascha. These two people. And Satyaki cha Parajita. Aparajitaha means Satyaki is somebody who can never be defeated. And he is one person, in fact, who survives the war and goes back with Krishna to Dwaraka because he is from Narayani Sena. He is from Krishna's army. So Satyaki cha Aparajita. He can never be defeated, it is being told here. And all these people, and Drupado Draupadeyascha. Drupada, we have seen already that he is the person who gave birth to Draupadi and Draupadeyascha. His Draupadi's five sons who are there, Sarvasha Prithvipati. Everybody is kind of a king by their own right, and Saubhadrascha Mahabahu. That Mahabahu, one with great arms, means he is a great um, uh, warrior by himself. Saubhadrascha. We have seen the son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu. He is the Mahabahu. All of them, what they did? Shankhan Dadmuhu Pradak Pradak. Individually, one after the other, they started sounding their uh, conches. So see the difference between how the description of the sound is being told. Yeah. When Kaurava started, Bhishma started this one, and all others, they did not do it in a orderly fashion. Everybody started sounding their own different instruments, including conches, and nobody really had any idea of to what is being happening, and it is a cacophony which filled the sky. However, here, Pradak Pradak, individually you can see that all these great warriors on the Pandava side, they started sounding the Shankhan Dadmuhu Pradak Pradak. Everybody started doing that particular this one. Now, what is the effect of such a sound that is being coming from the Pandava side is in verse 19. सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यधारयत् हृदयानि व्यधारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन् तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन् Vyanunadayan means it is like a echo coming, yeah, resounding throughout is Vyanunadayan. Nada is the sound. Vyanunadayan, it is coming again and again, kind of resounding throughout. Nabha. Nabha means in the sky. Nabha is the sky that we are talking about. Yeah. And Yeva Prithivim and the earth. So the sky and earth are started reverberating with a resound, because one after the other this is coming as if one sound and other echo, one sound and other echo. Like that, in an orderly fashion, both sky and earth appears to be resounded with the sound, yeah, that is coming from Pandava side. Tumulum Ghoshaha. It's a huge noise that is coming from the other side. And Vyadarayat Hrudayani. How it happened? Hrudayani, heart. Vyadarayat means it is piercing the heart of the Dhatrashtrana. Dhatrashtrana is Dhritarashtra, is the king. Yeah, we know the blind king who was sitting and hearing all this Gita from Sanjaya, and Dhatrashtra, all the sons of Dhritarashtra. In essence, all the whole army of the Dhritarashtra, led by Duryodhana, that is the Kauravas. All the Kauravas, this particular thing is piercing their hearts as it were. Yeah? And this Shankhanadam, which is coming from different warriors, Anunadayam, Adunadayan, echoing as I mentioned. Yeah. So it as if it is piercing the heart of the Kauravas. That is how the effect of this one is there. We will read the 20th verse and 21st verse. In between there is only one line is there in the 21st, and in between Arjuna Uvacha will come. So we will read the first line of the 21st verse as well. अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यमपाण्डवः धनुरुद्यमपाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदमहामहीपते. So here we are seeing that this verse is starting with a term called athaha. Whenever a word comes as ataha, a new topic is starting, is how it is indicated in all our shastras. Wherever shastra is there, ataha, when the writer is using this word ataha, a new chapter is starting, a new topic is going to start from that perspective. So in that sense, ataha vyavastitan društva. That is what it is saying. And Hrishikesham Tadavakyam Idamaha Mahipate. Mahipate, O king. Who is the king? Dhritarashtra is the king who is there. Atha Tada, Atha Tada Ataha. Tada Ataha, then at that moment, Shastra Sampatte. Shastra Sampatte, when Shastra Sampatte. Shastra Sampatte, once they started uh, using the arms, Shastra, archers, the arrows, etc. When the arrows are about to be discharged, Pravritte was to be commenced. Yeah, Shastra Sampatte Pravritte means when the discharge of arrows is about to be commenced, Kapidvaja. A very beautiful word is used here. Kapidvaja, the monkey banner. Dvaja is the flag. The flag on Arjuna's chariot has this monkey bannered, this one, Kapidvaja. Yeah. And Pandava is Arjuna. We have seen Drishtva, he saw that Dhatra Rashtra. Again, the Kauravas he saw. Yeah, all of them standing in front. Obviously, they are facing each other. So, and Arjuna being the main warrior was standing right in the middle with Krishna as the charioteer. And he saw the Kauravas on the Vyavastitan stationed all around in front of him. And Udyamaha Danuhu. He raised his bow and aha and spoke. Idam Vakyam. Idam Vakyam Hrishikesham. He spoke the following words. Idam Vakyam is following words. So he saw you see how the Vyasacharya is giving wonderful description of what is happening. The two armies are standing in front of each other, and Arjuna was on one side, and he immediately saw that there are many people standing in front of him. Till now, Arjuna has conducted many, many wars. This is not the first war. He went when Yudhishthira conducted many yagas, etc. As part of that, he has occupied huge land masses on behalf of Yudhishthira. So it's not the first time he is doing it, but this is the first time he is seeing his own people, so to say. People whom he has grown with, people under whose tutelage he has learned the warfare, he has learned the entire life, how to lead a dharmic life. Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Krupacharya. So all these are teachers and grandparents who have brought him up, and they're all standing in front of him. Although he says, okay, all these people are standing in front of me. So he suddenly had something to say to Krishna. Hrishikesham is Tadavakyam. Vyavastitan Kapidvaja. Kapidvaja is, it is told that Bhima is also Vayuputra. He is also the son of the Vayu, God, air god. Yeah. And Hanuma is also a son of Vayuputra. He is also son of the air god or Vayuputra. So it is told that Bhima and Anjaneya is supposed to be one who will live forever. So he doesn't die. And that's why even in Treta Yuga, he was there in Ramayana, and he continued to live in Dwapara Yuga when when Bhima made in their Aranyavasa, he comes across this Hanuman. And he may, despite some stories are there as to how Bhima's pride is pride is taken out by Hanuma, who was thinking that he is the strongest of everybody in the earth, but he comes across this old monkey wherein he could not even lift the tail of that monkey. And he recognizes that he is not an ordinary monkey. And when he falls at his feet, Hanuma actually blesses him. So he knew Anjaneya, and he says that Anjaneya, you come and please support us, or at least bless us. I know you will not fight, but bless us with so that we will get victory. And Anjaneya is said to have told that I will come, but I will not come in a fashion of where I'll be physically present, but I will be part of your flag, emblem. So he becomes the emblem, Kapidhvajaha, he becomes. That is what they talk about, why Kapidhvaja. And since Anjaneya was, although physically not there, but in the flag, and he promised Bhima that he will participate in that sense. He will give that moral support. He is also one of the fortunate ones who have heard the Gita when Krishna tells Arjuna right near his chariot. And obviously the flag is on the chariot, and Anjaneya sitting there, Hanuma sitting there, heard that particular this one. And it is also told that not only he heard, obviously he understood that as well, because he already heard that Gita from Rama when he tells Vibhishana, when he tells Lakshmana. There is a Vibhishana Gita where Rama actually gives the truth about one's true nature, which is called Gita in a form of a song, is there in the Yuddha Kanda, where Vibhishana Gita is part and parcel of that. So he already heard when this being done, and he actually, they say, there is a commentary written by Anjaneya on the Gita, which is called Paisachya Bhashyam. Paisachya, one who doesn't have a physical form. Because here Hanuma doesn't have a physical form, so his Bhashyam is referred to as Paisachya Bhashyam. Anyway, so that particular thing is just a side, this one. And Hrishikesham, we have already seen. Idam ahaha mahipate. O Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that Lord Krishna is there, and Arjuna told the following words to Krishna. So we will read the 21st verse. Okay. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna uvacha. Senayorubhayormadhye Ratham stapaya mechyuta. Senayorubhayormadhye Ratham stapayam Arjuna mechyuta. So in the 22nd verse also we will say, Yavadeta niriksheham. Yavadeta niriksheham. Yodhukamanavastitan. Kairmaya sahayodhavyam. Kairmaya sahayodhavyam. Asmin rana samudyame. Asmin rana samudyame. So, in now the dialogue from Arjuna. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna started telling the Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said. What he said? Oh, Krishna, Sthapaya. Place Sthapaya me Ratham. My chariot. See how that pride comes across. Now Krishna is only a charioteer. So he has to listen to Arjuna in that sense. So he is telling Krishna, oh Krishna, Radham Sthapaya Achyuta. Achyuta, oh Krishna. We'll come to this term Achyuta. Again, we are seeing how Krishna's names are addressed, and each one of them is so wonderful, really, to know the meaning of that and why it is being used at a specific place. Yeah. My chariot, my Meratham, Madhye, between Ubhayo Senayoho. Now he wants to place his chariot right in the bank in the middle of the two armies, Ubhayo Madhye, Yavat, till Aham Nirikshe, till I see. Niriksham is I review. I see both the Etan Avastitan, those who have assembled, as if he doesn't know. Yeah, he obviously knows because he is the one who went round to every king around and asked for supporting them, and he obviously knows who supported him and who agreed to support him and who has gone to the other side. But he wanted to still have a look at these people as to who is there on the other side assembled. Yodhakaman, one with the desire to fight. Sah, Sahakaihi, with whom Maya Yodhavyam. I will be fighting or I should be fighting. I want to see. Asmin Rana Samudhyate. Asmin, in the event of the war, Aham Avekshe, I wish to see. Iksha is seeing. Aham Iksha, I want to see. Ye Samagatah. Those who have assembled here, Atra means here, Yotsukaman. They are all eager to fight because we saw already everybody started making their own kind of signs and eager to fight. It is very clear. Priya Chikishava, those who want to fulfill their desires. And he says, very wonderful word he uses here. Yeah. Durbuddhehe. Durbuddhehe, evil-minded, Dhatra Rashtrasya. Duryodhana, etc., which are there, Yuddhe, in this war. So when we see what the state of the mind at that particular time of Arjuna, it is very clear he identifies Duryodhana as this evil-minded person, Durbuddhi. Yeah. And Dhatra sons of Dhritarashtra, and Duryodhana, everybody who is there. Now, what makes him say he is a Durbuddhi? The Kauravas who are there are Durbuddhe. Because there is a history throughout the Mahabharata which comes out right from the young age when Bhima and Duryodhana, they started having fights with each other, even during the training, for example. And Bhima, the Duryodhana recognizes as having a strength of 1,000 elephants, they say. So he knew that the Pandavas are better, and that made him very jealous. And in one of the instances, the Bhima is given a poison, and he is thrown in a pool of water, and he goes down, and a story associated with how he comes out after going to the Nagaloka, etc., with the renewed power and multiplied power, he comes back. And those things made Duryodhana more and more jealous of the Pandavas. So that is the background that we are seeing. Even when they grow up, how that episode of the dice that is played with Yudhishthira, and how Shakuni uh, deceives them to win. And apart from that, there is another instance where they are given a palace made of lac, and it is somebody actually goes and puts fire to that in order to kill all the five Pandavas, and including Kunti. Unfortunately, at that time, even mother was there, but that didn't stop Duryodhana from using all kinds of this one. So with that kind of a background, Arjuna is very, very clear in terms of what is the nature of the not only Duryodhana, but entire Dhritarashtra. 100 people, 100 brothers of Duryodhana, every one of them is a Durbuddhi, he calls them. Yeah? And he says, when I want to still see as to who all are assembled, who are so eager to fight and desirous of defeating the Pandavas. So he is talking about like that. And now we come to the term that Arjuna uses for Krishna. it kind of tells us to when Duryodhana and Arjuna goes to Krishna asking for support from the Narayani Sena, generally from the persons who is, and Krishna's brother Balarama, he told that I am too close to both of you, so I will not fight the war, neither I will support anybody. I am going on Tirtha Yatra, and he goes off. That is the story which comes through. Yeah, because Balarama is the direct guru of Dhritarashtra. And at the same time, he is also Mama for the Pandavas. So he says, no, I cannot take sides. Neither I will take any side, neither I will participate in the war. He goes away. And when Krishna is approached for the support of the Narayani Sena, as it is called, and Krishna's support as well, Krishna tactfully puts it, says that I will be on one side, my entire Narayani Sena will be on the other side. Now you have to decide whom you want. And also, I will not touch any arm, I will not take up any weapon, neither I will physically fight, but physically I will be present there supporting and advising. That's all I will do. Whereas my army will fight to their full extent, full power on the whoever he selects this. And he says Arjuna being the younger one, because both Arjuna and Duryodhana goes to Krishna together. And he says that because Arjuna is the younger one, he will get the first chance. Duryodhana thinks, oh, this is how Narayani Sena goes to the other side, and this Krishna comes to me who is of no use. But to his surprise, Arjuna selects Krishna. Now that why I am telling that story, here he uses the moment Arjuna addresses Krishna, he is not telling him as Rishikesha or Madhava, he is telling as Achyuta. Now this Achyuta has got a very special meaning as such, as somebody who is unfailing or infallible. He can never fail. One such a person is the Achyuta. Achyuta can also be a person who is omniscient and omnipotent. Means his power has got limitless power. He is Krishna, and he has displayed that. In previous wars, with his own wars, it is told that there are so many, even Jarasandha, Kamsa, and when he was very, very young, he has killed so many Rakshasas. So his power as limitless power, one with limitless powers, is well known to everybody. Although, despite that, Duryodhana doesn't believe that he is a avatar. But obviously, Arjuna had that faith, so he selected him. And that is why he is addressing him as the Achyuta. Again, omniscient, when we say, he is present, he is everywhere. Not that he sits in Dwaraka, he doesn't know what is happening with Pandavas and Kauravas. Every aspect he knows. How do we know that? When Draupadi was being the Duryodhana and Dusyasana, when they bring her into the where entire Sabha was there, and her sari was being taken out, she first requests support from Bhishma, the king, Dhritarashtra, and her own husbands. But when nobody reacts, as a last resort, he says she actually takes the name of Achyuta. Krishna, you are the only one who can save me. And out of nowhere, that whatever number of saris that are being taken out, they are getting replaced, is how the scene is described there. How he supports and saves Draupadi. So he is an omniscient power, again is well established, well known to the Pandavas. And Arjuna that's why he is addressing Krishna as Achyuta here. Yeah. So he says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Radham Stapaya Mechyuta. So you please put my Radham, put my chariot right in the middle where I can see. And it is ever trustworthy. And apart from that, Achyuta has got a negative connotation in a sense that he is never attached to anything. Again, you see this with Krishna. wonderfully it is described when in the younger, when he was a very small boy, he is brought up by Nanda Gopal in the village. Yeah. And once he leaves and comes to kill Kamsa, his own mama, he never goes back. That is, sometimes we may feel that this is a very sad thing, that harsh thing that Krishna has done, but he is the one with zero attachments to anything that is happening around him. Absolute zero. You may think that he is very much attached because the way he has treated his mother when he was very small, like any other kid. But the moment he went out, that is the end of it. He never goes back. Similarly, Gopikas, Radha, everybody. As long as you are there, it's as if he is so much attached to you. But once he is not there, once he goes on with his life, that is the end of that one. Zero attachments. So he is ever free. He is never attached to anything. That is why he is Achyuta. A very, very beautiful name Arjuna uses when this comes to Dhritarashtra. Yeah. So, what did he do? He said, Rana Samudhyame, in the event of the war, whoever is assembled in front, I would like to see that, and especially Durbuddhehe, Dhatrashtraha. I want to see who is there on the other side, who are all have made our life so miserable till now. So I would like to see and see and assess them as to why they are fighting this war. And Kauravas being jealous, I would like to have a look at this. Okay. Obviously, Bhishmacharya is a very great person. Drona is also a great person. And not only that, they have brought Arjuna up. As I mentioned, Arjuna was a very young boy whom they have trained in his younger days. And they were gurus to him also. So at this stage, it appears as if Arjuna's intellect is very clear. So he is telling that these people are durbuddhe. All of them are somebody who deserves to be killed, so to say. But I would like to see them is how they are being told. So there, the sentiments are not working on Arjuna as we see that, and his intellect is not deluded as of that particular state. Yeah. And only when the Arjuna goes to the center of that particular war scene, that is where um, uh, the trouble starts for Arjuna, where delusion and samsara kind of takes over. As I mentioned, samsara includes three critical components. One component is the attachment. So attachment to my own people and my own army, my own wealth, my own relationships, my own objects which are there, so to say. Yeah, all these aspects are attachments which are there. Attachment comes with the desire, obviously. And when attachment is there, sorrow automatically follows, because attachment to any object, and all the objects by nature are temporary. Whether you take a person, whether you take a dog, whether you take a cat, doesn't matter. All of them are temporary by nature, and all the attachments obviously lead to a sorrow. And when sorrow overtakes the mind, third thing that happens is the delusion. And with the delusion, all wrong decisions appear to be right to me. So this is what the samsara is all about. Really, if you go through your life in terms of where I felt very sad and how I taken decisions, whether the decisions taken in that circumstances of delusion, whether they are right or not, we all can easily make out, oh, I should not have done that. How many times, how many people will repeat that? But still we will not never learn, because that is samsara. That is Vishada. Vishada yoga is nothing but your attachments to the world and world of objects and relationships. That is the Vishada yoga. And Arjuna will fall into it. Definitely he will fall into that particular this one. Yeah. So verse 23 And this one, with that, the one section of this one will be is completed. Now Arjuna will Sanjay will talk about Arjuna, how he reacts to this particular this one. Yeah, we'll quickly read verse 24. Yeah, Sanjay Uvacha. We will read that. In fact, we will read verse 24 and 25 together, because they again have got a similar topic that is built into these two verses. Sanjay Uvacha. Sanjay Uvacha. Eva mukto Hrishikeshah Gudakeshena Bharata. Eva mukto Hrishikeshah Gudakeshena Bharata. Senayorubhayormadhye Sthapayitya Radhottamam. Senayorubhayormadhye स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्. भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम्. भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम्. उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान्. उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति. So Krishna, like a very good charioteer, he will oblige. When Arjuna says, Radham Stapaya, between the two armies, put my this one. So Sanjaya Uvacha. Now Sanjaya is describing what is happening on the field there. He says, Yeva Mukto Hrishikeshaha. So Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya has told, whom? Bharata. Bharata here refers to Dhritarashtra. Bharata is the one who belongs to Bharat. Bharata is the Dhritarashtra. Kuru, Bharata, all these things will be equally applicable. Right from Dhritarashtra to Sahadeva, everybody is got can be called this same names, so to say. Ukta evam, commanded thus. See, Ukta evam, when commanded by Arjuna, Gudakeshena. Who commanded Arjuna? Gudakesha. Again, Arjuna is now getting a new this one. He is being told Gudakesha. Guda is Tamoguna Pradhan. Gudak Ishaha, one who has overcome the Tamoguna. See, is being how cleverly the names are being used here. So we know that Arjuna will fall back into Tamoguna. But at this particular stage, he is being referred to somebody who is the Isha of the Guda. Gudakesha is the Tamoguna, one who has overcome the Tamoguna is Gudakesha. And he has commanded Hrishikesha. Whom he commanded? Krishna himself, as one who is completely Isha of the mind and senses. So Gudakesha, Hrishikesha. So these two are the names of Arjuna and Krishna. Sthapayitva placed Radhottamam, the great chariot. We have already seen the description of the chariot, 4 white different horses being come, and it is something, a divine chariot given by Indra to Arjuna. So it's not a very small, insignificant chariot. It is a Radhottamam, greatest of chariot is there with being driven by Lord himself. Madhye Ubhayo Senaye, in between the two armies, he stays in front of this one. Cha Sarvesham, and all the others. Mahikshitam, kings who are there. And Uvacha iti. What did Krishna tell him? O Partha, O Arjuna, Pashyaetan Krushan. These Pashyaetan Kurun, Kauravas, who are there, Pashyaetan, you see Samavetan, who has assembled. These Kurus who have assembled in front of that, O Arjuna, see these Kauravas assembled in front of you. So he is being, Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as Bharata, and Gudakesha, Arjuna, who commanded the Hrishikesha, one who is the controller of the mind, to take his chariot, great chariot, in between the two armies. He has done that so that Arjuna can clearly see the face of the people. And see how Krishna cleverly now, he could have taken him and put the chariot in front of Duryodhana, Dusyasana, Karna, whom Arjuna hates. But he says Bhishma Drona Pramukata. Right in front of Bhishma and Drona, where their chariots are there, and Krishna placed the chariot right in front of them. Bhishma Drona Pramukata Sarvesham Cha Mahikshita. Not only Bhishma Drona, all others are also there around in terms of the kings who are assembled that. And he stopped in front of such a place and Uvacha Partha. He said, Partha, look at the Kauravas who are there in front of your eyes. That is where the Arjuna's fall will start. So we will look at this in the next class as to how Arjuna will view the Kauravas and how his reaction will be. And we can clearly see why this particular chapter is named as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He goes into a sorrow born out of the attachments, and also that leads him to the delusion of the mind, where his mind will be completely overtaken by the sorrow. Not only sorrow, by the attachments, various attachments. He will name it as well. Arjuna will name it as to how his mind gets, and he presents wonderful wonderful this one as to why he should not fight this war. Wonderful excuses he will put forward as to why he should not fight this war. But at the same time, Krishna then will come out with the Gita. Yeah. We will see that in the next class. We'll stop the class now, and any questions we can take it afterwards. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.